I know this issue has already been addressed, but I want to make sure that I'm on the record as raising my concerns, and so I think this committee should give you every opportunity to clarify and underline your point of view. When we met privately, you emphasized your determination to keep all options on the table with regard to Iran, including a military strike if Iran continues to pursue a nuclear program in defiance of its international obligations. You also discussed your longstanding support of Israel and our longstanding relationship. But you have critics out there, I don't have to tell you that, who maintain that your record on Iran is in question and that you are anti-Israel. These are serious charges. So let me direct some questions your way. Why should Americans trust that you will consider every option when it comes to one of the most serious national security threats facing us today, which is Iran?
First, thank you for an opportunity to clarify these issues. My record has been very clear on Iran. Senator Chambliss noted from my 2008 book in my chapter, specifically noting that I said the military option must remain on the table. I said that as recently in an op-ed that I co-authored last year in the Washington Post with two former CENTCOM commanders. We talked about Iran, and one of the very specific points we bring out in that op-ed was the military option must remain on the table, along with all the other areas of effort and expertise and diplomacy and economics and sanctions the President's using, which I've already said I support. So my record is rather thorough on this, and I would continue to support that position, and I strongly support the President's position.
Senator, talk about your view on Israel, our relationship with Israel. How can we continue to have a special alliance with a country with whom we share more than an economic or political philosophy, but with a broader a moral connection that we have to Israel?
Well, I've said many times, just as I've said regarding the military option on Iran, many times in my book, speeches on the floor, interviews I've given, I'm a strong supporter of Israel. I have been. I will continue to be. I've also said specifically, and I believe this is a book, that we have a special relationship with Israel. So, again, my record is pretty clear. I voted in the 12 years in the United States Senate for every authorization, every appropriation that I had an opportunity to vote on for Israel. I've been to Israel many times. I've met with their leaders many times. So, again, if you look at my record, I think my record is pretty clear in my strong support for Israel.
Senator, I heard you say when you discussed your vote against the resolution applying to the IRG, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, that in the end you were protecting the Congress's prerogative when it comes to declaring war. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I was saying, and I didn't say it, I guess, that way, but that was the point. And again, I say, like I have in answering some of the other questions, it wasn't a question of the objective. I mean, I shared the objective, and I suspect all 22 members in the Senate who voted against that resolution supported the objective. But as Jim Webb made the case, I think, pretty effectively, and Senator Webb was an individual that had rather considerable experience in this business. He'd been Secretary of Navy under Ronald Reagan. He had been Assistant Secretary of Defense under Ronald Reagan, one of the most decorated veterans of Vietnam, United States Senator, celebrated author, lawyer, and I thought he made a pretty strong, persuasive case, so did many of us.